Blessed be witches, and welcome to another episode of Witch Please. It is I, Odin the Seer, and today we are going to be talking about youth. That elusive thing that we squander in our childhood and spend the rest of our lives trying to regain. Doing what I do, I have a lot of people who come to me for guidance when it comes to relationship. And the one thing that I find is very common, more common than not actually, is people looking for a youthful relationship. They approach relationships in the same state that they should have approached relationships in their teens, not in their 30s, 40s, 50s, or even 60s. We have to grow. We have to evolve. We have to become something different. If you're looking for a youthful relationship, it's going to be transient. That's just the way it is. It's not sustainable. Right? Now, I'm not saying that you can't have a relationship based on love. I'm not saying that you can't have a relationship that is passionate. I'm not saying any of those things. Of course you can. You can. But you also have to understand that you have to get past that fantasy of that youthful relationship. You need to hold on to what is real rather than what is an illusion. People are getting caught. They're getting caught up in a certain time that is supposed to be had, released, and then we move on. At this age, I don't want a youthful relationship, okay? I remember my youth, and trust me, I don't want to go back there and have to experience that. I don't want to go back to the uncertainty. I don't want to go back to the low self-esteem. I don't want to go back to the mindset. I don't want to experience that anymore. That time has come and gone. I have gone far past that, and I'm happy with where I am now. As you grow and you evolve, you start to understand that you look for something more, or at least you should be. If you take a look at midlife crises, you'll realize that people have wonderful relationships, long-term relationships, have children, have this, have that, have the other. And then what ends up happening is they feel their youth slipping away. So they go for a youthful relationship. They destroy their marriage, they do this, they do that, they do the other, so that they can regain this youth. And of course, they don't last. They very rarely do. And now they're back in the exact same situation, and all the foundation that they have created with their partner for such a long period of time has all been lost. Now they have to start over again. I am not by any means telling anybody that you can't, have any relationship that you want. But if you're going to have a relationship, base your needs and your want on something that is real. Something that is sustainable. Passion is wonderful. And as you evolve in your relationship and you let go of those childish things and you start to embrace your adulthood, you realize that passion becomes a completely different thing, a better thing, right? A more fulfilling thing. It is not just about sex anymore. It's about communication. It's about understanding. It's about liberation. It's about love. It's about working together. It's about so many different variables rather than this hot guy or this smoking girl or whatever it may be. If you want a long-lasting relationship, put the childhood away. Put those childish wants away. And look at what is real. Look at what is most important to you. We are willing to endure atrocious things. Disrespect, control issues, abuse, all of these things we are willing to put within our day-to-day life because of the fact that we have not evolved to a point where we're not going to accept those things. I am that I am. You are that you are. But if you try and push and pull me, ridicule or control me, you're going to have a difficult time because you are going to be met with resistance. Okay? There's going to be a misunderstanding up in this witch. That is taking your relationship for what it should be. A place for you to grow. A place for you to evolve. A place for you to be your own self. A place for you to be able to love at a capacity that is sustainable for long periods of time. If you want a relationship that is going to be long-lasting and loving, it as yourself needs to evolve. We need to evolve. It is part of us, our growth, our becoming who we're intended to be. We go through our childhood learning about ourselves. It's the same thing for love. We have to learn what we want and what we don't want. So we find ourselves perpetually being back in the same kind of relationship over and over again, questioning why we keep going for the same person, the same type person, over and over again. We can't break this cycle. We cannot break this cycle because of the fact that what our guidelines are, what our foundations for a relationship are, have not evolved. And we are not taking in what is truly necessary in our lives. If you want to be in a relationship with someone who's a good provider, can help and work with you, this, that, and the other, and yet you are willing to accept somebody in your life that doesn't work, doesn't want to help support, doesn't want to do this, doesn't want to do that, and then you're all upset and trying to understand why. Now, I'm not saying that there's not a lot of other variables. Maybe you feel the need to fix people. Maybe you don't feel valid enough to be able to warrant having somebody in your life that is going to be an equal partner, right? Those are for you and your psychologist or whomever it is that you go to discuss. Okay? But I will explain this to you, that a lot of the times, this also plays a part of always looking at relationships in that youthful stage. Me and my spouse have been together for a long time now, and this is the healthiest relationship I have ever had because I let go of that youthful want in relationship. And I looked at what was important. What was important to me? I wanted to have a family. I wanted to build a business. I wanted to get my message out there. I wanted to do all of these things. So rather than putting time and energy into this person is hot and they give me butterflies in my stomach and they do this and they do that, instead of focusing my time and attention on that, I looked at my spouse and I was like, this is a stand-up person that has the ability to love. They are cute. They make me feel wonderful. I know I can work with them. And I loved them I loved my spouse from a different perspective, from a different place. And as I said, the best relationship I have ever been in because it's real. It's based on reality. It does not bind, it does not control. It allows me to be able to evolve, and I do the same thing for my spouse. I allow my spouse to evolve. We nurture each other. We support each other. If you need to go and see therapists, psychologists, psychotherapists, whatever it may be, I get that. But also take into account, how are you looking at your relationships? How are you looking at yourself? Because this goes further. Do you have issues with yourself because of the fact that you are losing your youth? Could this be a problem? Draw the connections, everybody. Understand that growing older is a good thing. It's a wonderful thing. It allows you to be able to know exactly who you are. Learn from your mistakes. Don't try and change the people. If you change what you're looking for, the people that bring in these conflicts will go away because they're not even on your radar anymore. You're not even paying attention to that anymore. People get caught up in this time frame. They don't evolve. Their body evolves. Their perspective on many things evolve. You know, they pay their bills, they do their taxes, they do all of these things. So they grow in these areas, but when it comes to relationships and love, they kind of get stuck in this vicious cycle. And what they don't understand is, yes, you may want a youthful relationship. Yes, you may want all of these different things, and that's fine, darling. That is fine. But you also have to understand that, take a look at when you were a child. Take a look at when you first started dating. Do you want to be back in that state? Do you want to be back in a state where you're jealous and you don't know who you are and, you know, this person's doing this and that person's doing that and you're sitting in the park with your friends crying? Do you want to be back there? I'm sure you don't, because I remember that time for me, it was not fun. And I don't want to do that. I didn't want to do it then and I don't want to do it now. I'm sharing this with you because of the fact that we need to learn to grow, okay? Even when it comes to our perspectives on relationships. Youthful relationships are transient. Okay, they do not have what is needed to sustain themselves. If you're looking for love, if you want love, yes, there should be an attraction. Yes, there should be all of these things. Yes, I get it. But what do you want? What do you truly want? Do you want children? If you want children, you might want to go for someone who also wants children or who would make a good parent. Do you want to buy a home? You might want to go for somebody who's working and wants to buy a home. Do you want to travel the world and have experiences? You might want to go for somebody who wants to travel the world and have experience rather than somebody who wants to stay home and buy a house. It's really that simple. We don't get into relationships opting to change our partner. We don't allow all of the other variables, those feelings in your stomach and the twitterpation and all that kind of stuff. We don't allow that to be the force of a relationship, okay? You can love someone, you can honor someone, you can have time with them, you can enter into a relationship, but do you know that their key fundamental beliefs aren't going to match your key fundamental beliefs? Either you need to change your beliefs, right? It's not up to you to get them to change theirs. They can do with it what they want. Maybe you should change your beliefs or honor what you truly feel. That's really an adult view on relationship. That's how you do it. Don't get into relationships with someone because you get these butterflies in your stomach and then persecute them or torment yourself because of the fact that it's not going the way you want it to go. You knew what was going on when you first got into that relationship. You were very much aware. And another thing that I find happens a lot is people don't ask the questions. They don't put it out there what exactly they're looking for. Because a lot of the times they're afraid. They're afraid if they truly know what that other person is looking for, that they may not be in a relationship with that person. And they are willing to invest a lot of time, a lot of energy, and a lot of money or whatever it is into this person when they didn't ask the question, so that when it does fall apart, because now we're getting down to the crunch time and you need to start working towards what it is that you want, they can turn around and be like, oh, I put all this time and this energy into this person and they didn't want this and that. You should have asked that at the very beginning. When me and my spouse met, I was very, very blunt about what I was looking for. I wasn't rude. I'm not a rude person, but I was very blunt. I was like, this is what I want. And my spouse was like, cool, that's what I want. And boom, our relationship started. And we are on board with everything. We allow each other to be who we are. We liberate each other. We emancipate each other. We do not control. We do not bind. That is not what we do. That is not our relationship. Our relationship is based on understanding that because we decided to share a life path together does not mean that neither one of us have our own personal paths that we need to venture down. We honor that. We encourage that. We work together to sustain that. And my spouse is the love of my life. I wanted to share this with y'all because it's very important that we all start looking at things in a different way. Don't get caught up in the illusion of having to be youthful, have youthful relationships. Evolution really is important. It gives you wisdom. It allows you to become better, more truthful with yourself. Love, like humans, grow. It evolves. It changes. Don't hold on to something that can become so much more. Don't be fearful of going to that next level. All right? It's all evolution, baby. It's all evolution. All right, so if you have not subscribed, press subscribe, join the Witch Please family, and do not miss out on a thing. You can follow us on Tumblr, Twitter, Instagram, as well as Facebook, and you can always send me a personal email at witchpleaseofficial@gmail.com. I said it before, boo-boos, and I will say it again. It is a pleasure to have you in my world. It is an honor to have you in my magic. and you are always in my heart. I will see you again on another episode of Witch. Please. I love you, boo-boos. Bye-bye.